Hi, this is Brandon Moon with Moonlit Fly Fishing. I want to welcome you to Fly Tying Night tonight. Tonight we're going to be tying up a last chance cripple pattern. This is a great pattern to be fishing during a blueing olive hatch. This is a blueing olive last chance. Make sure and trail this behind a traditional dry fly pattern or trail a soft hackle behind this as well, and you'll find yourself catching more fish with greater success. So you can see that I'm not using a traditional colored wing on this fly. I'm one that likes to be able to see my fly on these smaller dry flies. I can't see them very well, so I like to use brighter colors. So I'm using a fluoro yellow CDC from Swiss CDC for my wing on this. So with that, I'm going to invite you to make sure and like your favorite videos. Hopefully this video is one of those videos. Make sure and leave us a comment, say hi, or ask us a question. We really appreciate that, and it means a whole lot to us. We like to answer questions or say hi to you. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell to receive future notifications. And with that, we'll go ahead and get started. For our hook, we're going to be tying on the ML052 in a size 16. You can tie this pattern all the way to a size 20, or even on a size 14. Sometimes there's some bigger blue wing olives. And this is a great pattern in the early spring or late fall, or even during the winter a lot of times. So we'll go ahead and get started and put our hook in the vise. Okay, for our thread, we're going to be using an olive dun color. This is an 18-aught spider thread from Semper Fly. I've got it on my Stoneflow disc drag elite bobbin here. I'm going to start this at about the 2/3 point, and this is important for me because I don't start at the eye of the hook. I always start at that point where I know I'm going to be tying in my wing, and that just helps me not crowd the eye of my hook and give me better proportions on my fly. That's just the way I do it. We'll wrap that thread back there to the bend. You can see I did keep that tag end to help give me a nice smooth underbody. Like I always say, the underbody is the base of your fly. You want a good base to your fly. For the tail on this, I'm going to be using medium dun CDL. This is the Mayfly pack. This is great for tails on wet flies and dries. I'm just going to take a small little clump here. Okay, I don't need a big one. Level out those tips. Now I'll just pinch and pull that off so that my tips are nice and even. We'll measure this tail out. I want it to be roughly the length of the hook shank. Now I'll just secure that in. Before I start wrapping forward, I'm going to give myself 2 wraps behind that's going to help stand that up. I'll just wrap that forward. I'm going to stop just short of where I tied that in so I can trim it out. Now we'll just finish securing that in. We'll go back to the tail here. Again, I'm working with touching wraps to create that underbody that's nice and smooth. For the body on this, we're using a Callibatus colored wild barred turkey biot. Okay, this is really cool biot. I've already pre-soaked mine in a little cup of water. there's one side that has a ridge, another side that doesn't. The ridge side I want to be on the bottom side of this hook so that when I wrap it, I can wrap that with that ridge side in the back. Okay, now I'm just going to take, just like I did on my tail here, trim that out at that point. You can lay some super glue down on this. And I'm going to create a thread taper here to my body. It's not a big one, but just a small little taper. Now I'm going to half hitch this with my finger here, and that's going to allow me to set this off to the side so that I can use my rotary feature. I'm going to take my loon hackle pliers and we're just going to wrap this forward and create a nice even taper to the body there. Now I'm going to go ahead and secure this off. Trim that out. Now I'm going to take some Semperfli kapok dubbing in the blue wing olive. This dubbing goes on very, very tight on this, which is great. Give me a little bit more. This is going to create that thorax here on this fly. Now we'll just take and wrap that back here. I don't want to wrap that up forward. I want this back here on this back side of that biot body that I just wrapped, because I'm going to be wrapping my hackle in, my wing in there, and I don't want to crowd the eye of this hook. So I'm going to take 2 Swiss CDC feathers here. You can see I've already used these ones once, but I'm going to use them again instead of wasting those. So I'm going to measure that, the length of the hook. Then I'm going to take at that tie-in point and we'll put that in there. I'm going to make sure I don't rotate that CDC there. Okay, I'm going to pull that back just so that I make sure I stand that up and don't get over the eye there. Okay, now we're back in here. I'm just going to take and trim this CDC right off the back side of that dubbing. For my hackle, I'm going to be using a whiting dark dun. This is a midge saddle feather. It's a bronze, red label bronze midge. So I'm going to tie that in right here. I made my stem bare for a good tie-in point. So I secure that in. I'm going to stand that feather up. I'm going to wrap behind it twice, and that's just going to help stand my feather so when I wrap it here. Okay, now I'm going to wrap this feather with touching wraps. About 4 wraps in there. Now I'm just going to secure that off, pull that back. Okay, now I'm going to whip finish here. Pull that CDC back. Now I'm going to whip finish 2, 3, 4. Trim that out. Now we'll get the hackle stem out of there. Okay. Got some of those CDC fibers down there. We'll just pull them back up. And there you have the Last Chance Cripple. Traditionally, the Last Chance Cripple has a little bit of Zelon or poly yarn on the tail. I actually have found I don't like to do that. It's just an extra step. I don't feel like I need to. Builds a little bit more bulk in my body. You can also see that by using this, this fly is going to float a little bit better because you can see I'm poking on those stems. That's going to help float this fly as well on the top. So here you have a size 16 Last Chance Blue Wing Olive Cripple pattern. Thank you for watching. Again, make sure and like your favorite videos, including this one. Drop us a comment, say hi, or ask a question. We'd love to answer those questions. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell so you receive future notifications. This vise that I'm tying on is a new vise that's going to be coming out. We'll be dropping a little bit more details on that in the near future. So again, thank you for watching. You have a wonderful evening. We look forward to seeing you again next week.